Hi my loves, so today I'm going to be giving you guys some insight on how I do my skin prep for my makeup. So it's a little bit different from me just doing my skincare routine and just hopping into doing my makeup. There are a few steps that I like to take, especially if I want my makeup to last all day long, meaning like if I have a really long shift or I have to wake up super early to do my makeup and I know I'm not going to be able to do any crazy touch-ups or redo my makeup by the end of my day. These are just the skin prep techniques that I do before I actually do my makeup routine, so that I know for a fact my makeup is going to last much longer than a typical quick and easy day of me doing my makeup. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to rehydrate my skin. So after I've done my skincare and everything is like melted into my skin and my skin is looking nice and plump and everything, I like to actually like wet it again so that my primers are able to go into my skin a little bit better. So what I like to use is the Magic Radiance. It's the all day hydrating spray with vitamin C in it. So it's technically a setting spray, but more skincare focused. The line of Max Fix Plus setting sprays are just the original, the Stay Over, the Mattifying, and then the Magic Radiance. This one I highly recommend for people who have like true dry skin. But when it comes down to people who have true dry skin, the products that are catered to them are also really nice for everybody else, not gonna lie. So I like to go in, I like to shake it up first, and literally just a light layer of hydrating my skin. I'll then fan it in a little bit, and then I go in with the Morphe Continuous Prep and Set Mist. It's supercharged with ceramides and antioxidants. I don't know what crack they put in this, but I love it to death. When I'm doing makeup on my clients, I like to hydrate their skin with this first, and then I go in with primers, which is similar to what I'm about to do today. But this literally makes your skin look so good, and I love the spray. I don't know how to say it, the nozzle. I love this on it. Like, look at that. Oh, I'm so sorry I'm wasting product right now. You know, this is... They ate with this. I love it so much. I will forever and ever and ever be repurchasing it. I can't tell y'all how many of these I've bought. I've even been gifted them. Anytime I talk about it and someone has it and they're like, oh, I don't even really use it, I'm like, give it to me, because if you're not using it, I'm gonna use it. But yeah, so now that my skin is nice and wet and hydrated, I like to then go in with the Strobe Cream Goldlite. I've actually recently fallen back in love with this. I used to use this like years ago, but I didn't know how to like properly prep my skin. So I just used to be looking like a grease ball, to be honest. But I like to use this in my cheek, jawline, and around my mouth area, just so that my skin is looking like nice and plump and hydrated in those areas, especially my like the highlighted points of my cheekbones. I like to go in there first, and then the remaining I just go in around my mouth, my jawline with it. I avoid my forehead entirely. I avoid my nose and my like this area of my face too, because I'm then gonna go in with other skincare in those areas. So once I've gone in with my strobe cream, I then use my Prep and Prime Pore Refiner Stick in the areas that I tend to have the most pores. It doesn't necessarily make like a massive difference, but I definitely feel like when my makeup goes on top, everything's a lot like smoother when I do use this versus when I don't. So I like to use it in the areas where I have pores. I feel like out of my entire face, I'm like the most insecure about this area of my face because my pores are just so massive. And then when I do my makeup, you know, it doesn't necessarily like erase it. But yeah, so I just go in that area. And then my favorite thing ever, the Fenty Beauty True Matte Pro Filter Mattifying Primer. I remember when I worked at Sephora, I used to be trying out all of the matte primers on my forehead. The moment that I would clock in and I was on the floor, I would put a new primer on my forehead and try it out for the day. And by the end of my shift, I used to see like if I was like normal oily, as if like I didn't prime my skin, or if there was like any major difference. And I remember This one and the Laura Mercier matte primer were the only two that at the end of my shift, my forehead wasn't oily, or not as oily as it normally would be. So this is like my holy grail primer. I have it in my kit. I use it on myself. I will forever ride or die for this primer. It's so good, and it goes on really, really hydrating. It reminds me of like a nice like a low-key cream moisturizer, and then the more you work it into your skin, it gets a little bit more like tough, and it just turns into like a powder kind of finish. It's so nice. It has blue agave in it, and just like those kind of like powder rich ingredients in there, which I think is what really helps with that like blurring effect. But this stuff is so good, and after I've applied it, I just like to like tap it into my skin in the areas that I want like the most blurring to happen. But I'm only applying it in my T-zone because that's where I tend to get the most oily. It's literally my forehead, my nose, this area, not necessarily around my mouth. I feel like throughout the day when I need to touch up my makeup, it's really just here alone that I'm oily. It's never anywhere else. But yeah, that is how I prime my skin before my makeup. So I go in with the Strobe cream around my cheeks and jawline area and around my mouth. And then I use the Pore Refiner stick from MAC just in the areas where I have big old pores. It's really nice for like if you have any fine lines as well, you could use it there too. And then last but not least, I use my True Matte Pro Filt'r Mattifying Primer in my T-zone. And then I give my skin a second to dry. At this point, I'll then go in with doing like my brows, which probably takes me like the longest amount of time when doing my makeup routine. So by then everything has like settled and dried into my skin. But yeah, that's my skin prep routine, my priming routine, if you will, before I actually get into my makeup. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is really fun to make, honestly. I love talking about like these kind of things, and I hope that someone out there has the same routine as me, something a little bit different. If y'all want to share in the comments too what you use and what you feel like is like your holy grail as well. My skin type is combination oily. So if anybody else out there has something that they're using too, something that's new that they've given a try and they like as well, let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It was nice doing this. You guys have a good day. Love y'all.